4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. And liftoff.
And good evening, North America. My name is Dan Neer. I'm coming to you live from the studios of Q107 in Toronto, Canada. Along with me is Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson of Rush. And we're going to play a bunch of their fine new recording, Roll the Bones, for the United States and for Canada. Now, is that your general understanding, guys, of what we're doing here?
That's what I thought. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, how are you doing, man? I understand this particular album, Roll the Bones, renewed enthusiasm for what you do. Could you take off on that a little bit?
Elaborate, you mean?
Or elaborate, sure.
Sure. Let's go back, I guess, to the end of the Hold Your Fire tour, which was kind of a long and exhausting tour. And I think at that point, everyone was getting a bit frustrated and a little down on touring and not very positive, shall we say. Then we go to the Presto album. Recording of that went very smoothly, and things were feeling quite good through that process. I think it was through the mix when we were in London, the three of us hanging out together. We started talking about plans for the tour, the upcoming tour of Presto.
Playing volleyball.
Yeah, doing all the good stuff. Uh-huh. And things started seeming more positive than they had in a long time. And that carried on through the Presto tour, which was kind of a shorter, more carefully arranged tour. And we had such a good time on that tour that things started to snowball for us, I think, in a very positive way, and it carried through making this album. So I'd say it's very optimistic right now.
I think it's important to note, too, that we took about 7 months off after the Hold Your Fire tour before we started working on Presto, which was by far the longest time, by a factor of at least 2.5, that we'd ever taken off before.
So by quick calculations, that's about 2 months you've taken off before.
Yeah, 2 months. Good, very good.
Thank you. Okay.
Very good. And he only used a calculator after that one. And you didn't use that ruler thing.
Yeah.
And it was really important, I think, for us to get away and kind of divorce ourselves from everything that we do for a living.
It was really a matter of priorities. We were starting, I think, to resent having the band as the priority all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it works so well that, because from what I understand on this record, you guys cut short your vacation to go record, right?
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, well, we finished this record early. We finished a couple months early, which is unheard of for us.
Yeah, we actually spent more time writing and rehearsing than we did recording this time, which is... We still spent a lot of time. We spent about 9 weeks writing and rehearsing and getting ready for the recording part, and we spent about 8 weeks recording the album, which was a great feeling to know that all the preparation was worthwhile.
I definitely think the results are outstanding. Radio has already been hearing this song that we're about to play called Dreamline. A couple of lines stand out from this song that maybe relate to what we were talking about. We're only at home when we're on the run, and learning that we are only immortal for a limited time.
Yeah, I think that relates to us in a kind of a very personal way as to kind of some of the things that we were just talking about, but also it's kind of a universal feeling that you have when you're a certain age, where you believe that you can do so much and you're kind of invulnerable, that you can get along on no sleep, you can drive as fast as you want and you'll be fine. You can get away with murder, and there comes a certain point in your life where you realize that you are vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a listen to some music here, all right? Let's take a listen to Dreamline, live from Toronto. This is a CD launch for the new one from Rush, Roll the Bones. Now, hop in, everybody. Somebody in the backseat here has got a roadmap of Jupiter, and this transportation is the best here. Dreamline from Rush. All right, that is called Dreamline from the new CD from Rush, Roll the Bones. Were you ever concerned about the title of the album at all, that people would get, the wrong meaning from it? Because bones refers to the dice, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. And never concerned about...
What do you mean, Dan?
Well, I'm going to walk away from this question and get on to another.
Honey, when you're done with that chicken, can you roll those bones? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah. Is Rush feeling immortal at all these days? I mean, with that new sense of enthusiasm, or is this with the
I wouldn't want to go out on a limb and say that, but I'd say we're feeling pretty good, pretty positive.
Yeah, pretty psyched to get back out there again. Yeah. Good. I really feel that the album is such a strong one. We've just got to keep moving through these songs here. Bravado is the song that it's relatively in a normal, stable time signature. Is that true? You know,
I don't know. Is there any 7 in this song?
Actually, I don't think there is.
I don't really feel comfortable unless there's one bar of 7 in there, in case you're tapping your foot and you accidentally.
No, it's a terrific song, and there's a line repeated throughout it called "We will pay the price, but we will not count the cost." Now, I understand this line was taken from a novel Neil read. Is that true?
It could be. He didn't tell me about that. Did he tell you about that?
Not a word.
Well, you guys don't.
We don't talk.
Discuss the secrets there.
He faxes us the lyrics, and we fax him the music.
I see. It's that personal way of writing, you guys
touch.
too. Okay.
No, I don't know where the inspiration came from.
Okay.
For that song.
Neil had wrote a little piece called "Row the Boats," and on it he'd said that was from a book by John Barth called "The Tidewater Tales."
Oh, yeah.
What would that line mean to you? I mean, because Getty, you have to sing these lyrics, and we will pay the price, but we will not count the cost.
That's a pretty emotional song for me. It's one of my favorites that I think we've ever written, just because it's quite a change. It's quite a different song on the album. It's, it stands out on the record as being a different texture than most of the other tracks. And that line, to me, really says so much about the people, really, that move the world. You know, the people that go out there and do what has to be done, and they're not worrying about what it's going to cost them personally down the road. They're doing what has to be done, and they're prepared to pay the price for it without, worrying about, the payment that comes later.
I guess in the vernacular, it could be like "go for it, dude," or something like that.
Yeah, don't look back.
Right. Now, the song is, like you mentioned, emotional, and your guitar work is just that building sort of anthemic feel to it. Did you learn something new from playing guitar on this particular record? I mean, do you learn something new about your instrument this time out?
I don't know if I learned anything new. I think I felt a little freer in the guitar arrangements and the way that my guitar parts have developed on this record. That song, for instance, is a very simplistic approach from the beginning, and it, as you say, it builds throughout the course of the song, but it builds in very simple steps, and I think I found that you can get a lot of mileage from that.
I would agree. This song really has a lot of very powerful emotion, and let's take a listen to it right now. This is called Bravado, and live from Toronto, Canada. It's the new Rush CD, Roll the Bones. That's Bravado from the new Rush release, Roll the Bones, and a tip of the hat to the folks that are out there doing the good things for all of us. And we need more and more of them, I'm sure. The title piece of the album, Roll the Bones, I guess this is what would be called the album, I don't know whether you do this intentionally, but it sort of follows a theme of life being unpredictable. There are no set answers. Take a chance, do what your heart says. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That's it.
That's the one.
Well, thanks very much.
Okay, let's leave now.
Good
Thank
night,
you,
everybody.
America. Thank you, Canada. See you. Okay. This is Rush doing sort of a gender bender sort of thing. You got a rap in this song.
Well, we'd like to call it a spoken word piece.
Ah, yes, section.
Or as they say in England, it's a chat.
That's your producer teaching you that stuff. I know that, Rupert Hine. Now, my guess was that Rupert did the rap, but you explained to me, no, that's not.
It's not.
Are you going to let us in on who did it?
I did.
Maybe one day. He didn't do it. Maybe one day. I think it's a fun tease for a while. Anyway.
And you're just like one of those tease sort of
me.
people. Yeah, okay. One thing I do love, especially about this particular record, is the way you bridge the different styles there. It just seems to flow very gracefully throughout all those different styles.
Well, that's good, because that's something that we were a little worried about. Because, this song has got just about every style we could think of thrown in there. And it seemed right to do it. And, we went backwards and forwards as to, how to approach it, whether to make it all feel more continuous or to, play up the differences in the sections. But in the end, I think we struck a balance.
Yeah, I would agree. Our concern was that it was too fragmented. I think after we wrote it, we were quite excited about it, and I think we got away from it for a little while and listened to it and thought, yeah, this song's pretty stupid. Or hang on a second here. But I think, like Eddie says, it's knitted well together now. We've managed to.
Yeah, and it's really become my favorite that we've done in a long time.
Yeah, I think this is fabulous, and I can't wait to lay it on North America here. So why are we here? Because
we are here.
So let's roll the bones, huh? Let's go. Pull out your dice and shake them. This is called Roll the Bones, live from Toronto. It's a CD launch for Rush. Roll the Bones, the song from the album of the same name. We'll be back with more live from Toronto with Geddy Lee and Alex Leifland when our CD launch rumbles on back here. Welcome back to our CD launch for Rush's Roll the Bones. I'm your excellent host, Dan Neer.
Party on.
Yeah, party on, guys.
Righteous.
Yay. At this point, I think before we get back into Roll the Bones, we're going to play something from one of the 17 other Rush albums. There's just like too many good songs to choose from, so I think we should pick this song by Rolling the Bones. I have here in my hand...
Some bones.
No,
I'm sorry.
A list of a bunch of your old songs, numbered, and each of you are going to roll the dice, like one die each.
Take one out.
And we'll add them up together, and the number that comes up that corresponds to one of your songs, that's the one we're going to play, okay? So
like a trick.
So, yeah. So, Geddy, you got the cup there, why don't you? Let's see if we can use this mic.
Roll
the cup. And it goes onto the floor and under Alex's chair. And anyone see that number over there?
Yes, it's 7.
7. Okay, so no, it is a
5.
It is a 5. Okay,
beautiful.
Alex, do you think you could try and get this?
I'll use my mic.
Oh, okay.
Look at all the engineers look here immediately.
They're
wrecking my mic.
No, my mic.
Who cares about the stupid dice?
Okay, so that comes up with a 4. So 5 and 4 I can add quickly, and that makes 9, and that corresponds.
By a factor of.
That corresponds to subdivisions. Okay, from signals. So anybody want to introduce this tune?
Alex? Would you like to introduce it, or shall I?
Why don't you go ahead, Ged? Because in real life, you introduced this song.
Yeah, as opposed to fake life that we're in.
That's exactly right.
Well, Subdivisions from the Signals album. I can't remember what year we wrote it.
I believe this was 1982.
1982. One of my faves.
Who's introducing this song, anyways?
I think we all are.
Well, in that case, let's just do this, okay? We are live from Toronto. This is the CD launch for Roll the Bones, but this one from Signals is called Subdivisions. Subdivision from Signals by Rush, a song we picked by Rolling the Bones.
By chance.
By chance, yes, just like life. Something you do by chance. It's the Roll the Bones is the title of that new collections of song by Rush, and right now I think we should get back to that because this is the matter at hand here. And the next song we want to get to is an instrumental. Now, you guys haven't done an instrumental, I think, since YYZ, right?
That's or right. As we say here in Canada, YYZ.
Yes.
Or as we say now in Canada, YYZ. Or Z.
Is Canada changing its habits?
It's Z.
Yes.
I didn't realize we were Z.
Yeah,
we were
in schools now.
I'm moving.
Progress.
It's the only thing that kept me here. Zed.
Well, first of all, I want to mention that Rush again has broken new ground here because apparently the subtitle of this tune, it's called "Where's My Thing?" Part 4, Gangster of Boats Trilogy. So Rush has broken brand new ground by finding the fourth part of a trilogy. I didn't think it was possible.
Well, normally most people don't write the fourth part of a trilogy, so we thought we would.
And because most people don't realize that you can have a fourth part to a trilogy.
Yeah, it goes to fourth.
Oh,
yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, you two wrote this song. It's a fine piece of music, and it kind of is like you guys didn't intend it this way, but it's almost like showing off the way you guys play. I mean, it's just amazing in it.
Well, that's because some guy told us that's what you're supposed to do in an instrumental. So that's what we kind of did.
Was there any particular reason why you chose to do an instrumental, or is it kind of just
we were forced?
It's so much fun to do, too. I mean, we tried to do one on Presto, and every time we started writing it, you know, we'd write this piece of music and be like, oh, this lyric fits perfectly with it. So it would go off, we'd steal from the instrumental, and it would become another song, and it kept happening over and over again. And finally Neil said, okay, you keep promising to do this instrumental, I'm not giving you any more lyrics until you write the thing. So we sat down and wrote it.
Actually, this whole album's an instrumental album, but then we added some words.
And hence it's got that instrumental underlying.
That's right. We use instruments.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So kind of like a planned whim you did there, yeah. The opening of the song, very funky. It kind of like almost like a James Brown sort of deal. Who's the brother here in the band?
Well, you know, we're funky as Canadians can get, I suppose.
No, but it really is, and it's a dynamic piece of music. Is there any chance I can get a copy of the Gangster of Boats Part 1 through 3?
As soon as we write them, you can.
Yeah, you can have them.
You can have them.
All right. Well, let's take a listen to this because it really shows the musical virtuosity of the band Rush. Welcome back, United States and Canada. We're live from the lovely, lovely city of Toronto, along with Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee of Rush. I'm Dan Neer. Now, you guys thank CNN on this album, and I do believe you've done this before. Were you watching them when they were in Moscow last week?
Actually, I wasn't.
No, we weren't here, but we watched a lot of them during the Gulf crisis.
Mm.
That's why the credit.
They often inspire, I guess, some music and lyrics, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't think that particular thing, you know, inspired anything on this record. It just seemed that a lot of stuff was going down that was hard to leave the television set during the writing, and a couple of the songs on the record were, I guess, kind of worldly in what they were describing. And it seemed quite, I don't know, like they fit in some weird way.
Right. Well, the next song I want to talk about is called Heresy, and it does, even though obviously these events happened last week, it ties into the song because the song asks the question, all those wasted years, all those precious wasted years, who will pay? And from reading what Neil has written about this song, he was saying, he was talking about the fall of all the communist governments in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that horrible and wonderful moment all mixed into one when somebody realizes that they've been, you know, had their freedom removed for so many years, and they finally get it back, and it must be such a bittersweet moment, you know, all those years that all those lives that were lost, and all the struggle, all the people that were fighting all those years, and suddenly it's all over. And what do they do about all the people that did not survive and were not lucky enough to be around when the wall fell down? You know, it's an unanswerable question, but it's certainly one to think about.
In all those years that they endured without food, even, you know, struggle to even get food, and I think Neil humorously said something had to wear bad suits.
Yeah, I mean, those are tough. Let me tell you. I mean,
oh, it's rough.
But it's you know, it's very topical, obviously, because of what's going on right now, and it was. I think that's the culmination of that whole movement.
And not only from their side of the coin, but I mean, just think from our side of the coin. I don't know if it was like this in Canada, but as I was growing up, there were the fallout shelters. You know, there was, you know...
that's just
absolutely
the exercise to get under the
duck and cover
desk, yeah.
Yeah, it's just all that strange stuff for a misguided ideology.
Yeah.
Well,
that in a few days is finished.
Just everything's so okay incredible. Now. You know, nobody, don't get bitter or don't be upset. It's all, you know.
We was just joking.
Hey, it's all a big joke.
Coach, no sense of humor on here.
You know, I personally took my statue of Lenin down too. Let's play the song "Heresy" as we think of our brothers on the other side of the world struggling for their freedom. Take a listen to this one from from Roll the Bones by Rush. It is called Heresy. And live from Toronto, it's a North American CD launch.
Is that John Lennon?
And the drum sort of goes from that, I guess, more tom-tom oriented one to the snare military sort of feel. And Getty, I saw you listening to that one. Were you enjoying that quite a bit?
Yeah, I was actually. I haven't heard it in a while, and it's nice to listen to it in headphones and kind of get lost in it.
Yeah, I really like what that song says. Must we be forgiving at last? And I guess we should.
Got no choice.
Yeah. Okay. Heresy from Roll the Bones. Now we're going to be back to hear, I guess, part of one final song when our CD launch docks again. I'm glad you came back with us for the final portion of our CD launch. We've just been having so much fun that we really don't have much time, and I guess we're not going to get to this final song I wanted to get to. But obviously, Rush is going to get on the road, or is this not obvious?
Yes, no, we'll be out.
It's obvious to some.
In the second half, or possibly the last third, maybe even the last quarter of October.
Would that be October 25th by any day?
Around there.
Okay.
On or near that day.
Yeah. You're going to start the tour, I know, in Hamilton, Ontario, October the 25th. And
That's right.
Then you head into the States in about how long? You're going to go for?
As long as we can.
Probably until the middle of December, and then take a little break and pick it up in the new year.
Okay. Well, I think I'd like to thank both of you.
I hear music.
Yes. I'd like to thank you, Alex. I'd like to thank you, Getty. I think Roll the Bones is a wonderful piece of music, and we all look forward to having you out on the road.
It was great to be here.
Okay. We'd also like to thank Ray Daniels and Kim Garner of SRO Management, Inc., Judy LeBeau, Perry Cooper, and Vicky Germais of Atlantic Records, Steve Warden, Rob Enders, Joey Vendetta, and Gary Whidden at Q107 here in Toronto and the Rock Radio Network. In Canada, we thank Richard Mark of Celtech, and from IDB Communications, thanks to Jill Jameson. This CD launch was produced by David Bales for Near Perfect Productions and Media America Radio. This show is brought to you by the letter A. A? The executive producers are DeWitt Nelson, Ron Hartenbaum, and me. I'm Dan Neer. We're live from Toronto saying mahalo, aloha.